Welcome to day 237. We're in Ezekiel, 2 Kings, and Jeremiah. So finally, there are some colors that are named in here and some that aren't that important, so I'm not going to go over them, but I am going to say some of them. And also, we're talking about Tyre because Eden was mentioned again. So we're going to talk about that, and then the 1,000-year reign and a remnant left in Israel, which God promised that there would be. So first of all, Tyre, the land of Tyre, Ezekiel 27:32. As they wail and mourn over you, they sing the sad funeral song. Was there ever such a city as Tyre, now silent at the bottom of the sea? Okay, so at the bottom of the sea, what has happened? Either some cataclysmic earthquake happened, maybe a mudslide and the city kind of slid into the sea. The ocean didn't rise above it. So I've seen on the History Channel, other documentaries where they've scuba dived and seen these ruins of cities over on the coastline, kind of where maybe Tyre had been. And they actually mentioned Tyre in those documentaries. And I'm just mentioning it because I think we have evidence of that being there. Not that there needs to be evidence. There's nothing with that. I'm just saying that it is amazing that archaeology is uncovering many things that are in the Bible. Maybe that was Tyre that they saw, maybe not. But it just seems like, well, this is kind of where Tyre was supposed to be, around this area. We have this ruined city in the sea, and we have the description in the Bible. Okay, it's Tyre. Okay, whatever. But I wanted to point that out to you because obviously it's mentioned very extensively in here. It has its own place, kind of like Babylon. Babylon's mentioned a lot more, and then we have it's talking about Eden, chapter 28, 13-14. You were in Eden. It's talking about Tyre. You were in Eden, the garden of God, but your clothing was adorned with every precious stone: red carnelian, pale green peridot, white moonstone, blue green beryl, onyx, green jasper, blue lapis lazuli, turquoise, and emerald, all beautifully crafted for you and set in the finest gold. They were given to you on the day you were created. I ordained you and anointed you as the mighty angelic guardian. You had access to the holy mountain of God and walked among the stones of fire. So the whole point in here is to say that, okay, Eden, the Garden of Eden, you shouldn't think of the Garden of Eden as just a little garden. You know, that's, 100 feet by 100 feet, whatever, or 1 acre by an acre. This is the Garden of Eden that God made, and I'm getting the picture that the Garden of Eden is the Middle East, and God withdrew all of the nice things that were there and the luscious plant life and stuff, and allowed it to be ruined. Now, there's a center point of the Garden of Eden, I think, where all the rivers come together. But there's a sighting of Eden. I wanted to share that with you. And it's the gateway, and Tyre is the gateway from the ocean into the Middle East. Okay, now the 1,000-year reign sighting, chapter 28, verse 25-26. This is what the sovereign Lord says: the people of Israel will again live in their own land, the land I gave my servant Jacob. Now, they're in their land again right now. Why is this a 1,000-year reign position? Is because all of Jews are not in their land yet. When they are all in there, and that will happen, that's going to be in the tribulation time into the 1,000-year reign. Okay? They will not all be there during the tribulation time, but they will be continually traveling back to there. For I will gather them from the distant lands where I have scattered them. I will reveal the nations to the nations of the world my holiness among my people. They will live safely in Israel and build safely. Even in the tribulation time, they won't be safe. Okay, so this has to be a 1,000-year reign verse. They will live safely in Israel and build homes and plant vineyards. And when I punish the neighboring nations, what is that going to be? Well, they're not really punished in tribulation. The whole world is being punished. But the neighboring nations are specifically going to be punished when Christ comes back and he sets up his 1,000-year reign, and he reigns. The people in Israel are secure, and he is punishing the other nations. And when I punish the neighboring nations that treated them with contempt, they will know that I'm the Lord their God. Okay, So punishment comes with revealing who Christ is to the people who do not know him. Remnant left in Israel. Remnant left in Israel. So here we go. Last thing, Jeremiah 39, verse 10. But Nebuzaradan, this is the captain of the guards of Babylonians, it's the captain of the guard in verse 9. But Nebuzaradan allowed some of the poorest people to stay behind in the land of Judah, and he assigned them to take care of the vineyards and the fields. So very smart what Babylon did is not only did they go and lay waste to all these cities and stuff, but they made sure that the land that they occupied was used for doing agricultural work and making sure that the Babylonian Empire was luscious and taken care of. So they let the poorest people stay there, and obviously they're Jews, so there was a remnant left in the land of Israel. So a wonderful, wonderful thought of that God said, I will keep a remnant there. So that's your day 237. I'll see you tomorrow.